What's going on YouTube? Quentin here from DoubleEdge Games, and I know everyone here is familiar with the Dark Souls franchise, whether you played it or whether you heard about it. Everyone knows that Dark Souls is probably one of the most difficult games out there. Well, what if I told you there was a game that took that exact same formula that has a bunch of freaking people in exosuits trying to tear your butt off? And that game, ladies and gentlemen, is The Surge. Damn! The Surge is this Dark Soul-esque game where you're actually a worker for a company named Creo that will try to make all these promises to you that you'll be able to walk again, you'll have this brand new exosuit, and you'll be doing something for the greater good. Well, that turned out to be a whole bunch of bullshit because now you're ended up walking around this area where everything is just trying to tear your butt cheeks off, and you must fight just to get some answers for yourself, because literally once you get your exosuit on, you're just thrown into this world where everything is trying to kill you, so you have no knowledge of what is going on for yourself. Now, this game is very short and sweet, so we're going to go ahead and stick with the classic DoubleEdge format. Very simple. We're going to go with positives, anything I enjoyed throughout my playthrough, and we're going to go ahead and go with negatives of anything your boy just did not like. So, let's go ahead and start off with the positives. One thing that I really love about The Surge is the fact that its combat system is very flashy, and that's always a winner for me. Coming from someone who's played a shit ton of Devil May Cry and God of War, it's always enjoyable to see how many executions you can pull off, or just to see those amazing combos and just leaving you with your jaw on the ground just of what the hell did I just pull off. One thing that I enjoy that sets itself apart from the Dark Souls franchise instead of just being a whole nother clone is that it has this limb loot system. So if you actually see a nice piece of armor that the enemy has, whether it's like a chest piece or like a gauntlet or a helmet, you can actually target that body part and do as much damage to it as possible, and once you take that enemy down, that item will be yours to keep. So you can actually pick that item up and put it on your character. Sometimes if you land an execution on that body part, it may not be a guaranteed drop, but if you're doing as much damage to it as possible while making sure you're not getting hit, because the enemies, like I said, it's Dark Souls, you will get pieced up, so you have to make sure that you're doing as much damage to that body part as possible just so you can be able to take that piece. Surprisingly, this game has a very wide weapon selection system. You're going to be having these weird chainsaw swords, these hammers, and even these big gigantic arm blades. And you're even going to get these cool little gauntlets that have blades on them. So you're going to be chopping them up like Wolverine, chopping up that lettuce so you're going to put it on that nice delicious taco. But other than that, the weapons actually have their own selective executions. So the sword executions are going to be completely different from the hammers, the arm blades. So they actually give you every single different type of execution for those weapons. So the combat actually won't get stale. And lastly, the visuals are actually very clean in this game. I actually like how the characters look, and I actually really like the environment. It looks mysterious, and it actually keeps everything looking just mysterious in that way, just from you going into those new dark areas, or you're just walking somewhere and you hear people just screaming help, 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 and banging on doors, and then out of nowhere you hear the door completely crash open and you have no clue where that person's at. So the game actually is very atmospheric, and that's one thing I actually really love about the game. Alright, let's go ahead, switch gears, and get to the negatives. So, right off the bat, I'm just going to put this out here. This game is literally just like Dark Souls 3, especially when it comes to just how the environment is, locked on system, all that stuff. So, you will die a lot. Bull! That is bull! His damage meter was up that high. Now this game's starting to piss me off. Now, also nitpicking is that when it comes to certain weapons in the game, especially like some of those big gigantic weapons you get, they swing extremely slow, but once you progress not even 10 minutes in the game, you find a weapon that can swing a whole lot faster, that's smaller and does more damage. The only thing I wish they would have done was make those weapons just insanely strong, because fighting with them is extremely difficult. So hopefully that could be tweaked in that way. But at the same time, it's nitpicking, and I understand those are items that are early on in the game, so of course they're not going to be as powerful as other items that you find later on in your playthrough. And of course, lastly, the story, it just seems to be lacking just a little bit. Honestly, for me, I haven't picked the game back up within like maybe a few days or so, just because it's not anything really driving me to beat the game. Sure, the game is difficult. I love that. It provides an amazing challenge for you. But when it comes to the game, just, you know, having a good story and just keeping you invested in the universe, honestly, for me, it kind of dropped the ball on that end. But it doesn't mean that the game's story is still, you know, just terrible. It's still decent at its core, but just for what the game is shooting for, they want you to feel that mystery of where the hell am I? But sometimes that actually hurts your game instead of helping you. Now, overall for the Surge, I would definitely like to say I picked this game up. Actually got a pre-order because it was on sale, like it was around 45 bucks. So the Surge really wasn't a bad title for me in 2017. It was a very fun game. I love the combat, but like I said, I just wish the story just held up a little bit more, or just something to keep me invested in playing a little bit longer. But that does not mean that this game is trash. This game is actually very decent to its core, and I actually prefer it over the Dark Souls franchise. Maybe I gotta jump back into Dark Souls as well too to get a little bit more of that story and that lore. But other than that, the Surge is a pretty decent game. So if I was actually to rate this game, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. And you can pick this game up on Steam, PS4, and I'm pretty sure it's on the Xbox One for $50 flat. If you can find a used version, if they have a hard copy, I would recommend that. But it could be mostly a digital copy. But other than that, I would definitely recommend this game if you love the Dark Souls franchise. But if you're someone who's never played it, take this as a warning. You will die a lot. Do not get mad. You have to have a cool head when you play this game. There will be bullshit, there will be those moments. But still, once you get the hang of it, pay attention to your enemy's attack pattern, and you'll be smooth. That's all I got to say. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this review, and as always, I say this every single video. If you have any games you would like to see me review, leave them shits in the comments down below, and I will definitely try my best to get to it. I love taking feedback from you guys, so you're more than welcome to send me feedback, and we can even chop it up. I always reply to comments. There's really nothing much to it. So I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, make sure you leave that like and share this video out to as many people as you can if you really enjoyed it. This is Quentin from DoubleEdge Games, and peace out.